This is so stupid. Now it's recording.
All right.
Okay, hey, we're here.
We are.
We're here.
Somehow we got here. I don't know how we got here, but we did.
We did. We're back on my stupid podcast, and we have Wee Man today. This is so fun. Hey.
Hey, it's
Hey.
funny you call me Wee Man because usually you only call me Jason.
Well, I know, but for the pod, people know you as
Very true.
Jason Acuna.
Legend.
Legend, yes.
No, I'm being
the
funny.
legend, Jason Acuna, is here. Self-proclaimed.
No, I'm not. I am not self-proclaimed.
Hey, you just said it.
I didn't give
just said it.
I didn't give myself the nickname. I don't call myself.
Who gave you the nickname?
This guy named Sal Rocco.
How did it end? He just looked at you one day and he goes, "Oh, Wee Man."
No, it was when we were younger, me and my buddies, and we would go to World Industries skateboard company. It was one of the biggest ones.
Was it the biggest at the time?
At the time, it was.
Uh-huh.
It was just starting to grow, though. It wasn't yet. It was just starting to grow. And the owner, Steve, his brother, Sal was in the warehouse, and we used to go there and be like, "Hey, can we get free boards or something?" You know?
How old were you?
Like 13, 14.
You were so young.
Mm-hmm. And we would skate there, and it was in our neighborhood.
Who's we?
Me and my buddies that skated during that time. And every time I stopped by, Sal would always yell to everyone, "Hey, everybody, Wee Man's here, Wee Man's here."
It's funny he called you man when you were just a boy.
I know. It's weird.
That is weird.
I wasn't even a man yet. I wasn't even 18. Yeah.
Wee Man.
Wee Man. He already knew.
Wee boy wouldn't have aged well.
No. But I think having man in my name made me who I am.
That's
funny.
funny.
I'm very... in the group, in the Jackass group,
Right.
Preston and Dave and others, I'm the bully.
Right, you're telling me that.
And so I think being a man so young made me all right, toughen up.
Do you think that name kind of, you grew into it? You're like, okay, that's who I am?
Yes, totally.
So interesting.
Yeah, I gave myself nicknames as a kid. But
what?
One time I wanted to be called Chico. I like the name Chico.
Is that because you're half Mexican?
Yes.
That's cute.
But it didn't stick.
Yeah.
So,
Would you introduce yourself as Chico?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I was going around doing that.
I'm Chico.
Yeah.
That means boy in Spanish, though, right?
I don't know offhand.
Come on.
We'd have to Google it.
Your dad is Mexican. Doesn't he speak Spanish?
He barely speaks Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if my grandfather did, but my grandma speaks a little. Yeah, my grandma does.
Okay.
I know that for sure.
What's boy in German?
Kind. Junge.
Yes, that's not going to stick.
Junge is not going to stick. That means
what was another
boy.
Nickname you wanted to have?
That's it. I don't remember any other
Chico.
ones. Yeah.
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 Wee Man. That's what stuck.
It stuck. Since I was 13, quite a few years.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
But your real name is Jason Acuna.
That is it.
People say Acuna, though. I feel like I've heard that.
They do.
But it's Acuna. Because
It's
it has that little, what's it called?
Enya.
An Enya.
That's why it goes Acuna.
Oh.
Because it's an Enya.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
And it's crazy because my dad's side, we have the Enya over the names. And my mom's side, she's German. And she has
the 2 dots.
Yeah, and those are called umlauts.
Umlauts.
Yeah.
Over her last name?
Uh-huh.
What's her last name?
Girl.
Oh.
Same as my uncle, the book I'm reading right now.
Got it.
Yeah. So in my family, there's 2 famous people, my uncle and myself.
Do you think that you were destined to be famous?
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Is that a weird question?
It's weird, but the funny story is my dad used to take me to work when I was 5, maybe 4 or 5. And my uncle, they worked construction. And I met Billy Barty when I was a kid.
Who's that? He
was one of the most famous little people.
Oh.
He's the one who started the little people thing. And
what's the little people thing?
Little people, LPA, Little People Association.
Oh, he started a whole association?
He started an association. But back then, midget was the term. And then...
Which you're trying to bring back.
I'm trying to bring it back. I've tried many times, but it's people, I don't know what's going on. They get scared. But anyways... I met him.
And what was he famous for?
He'd been in tons of movies.
Okay. How have I not heard of him?
He did the whole what's the one? The famous
Willy Wonka?
Not Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
So is that fucked up?
No, the other one. The Yellow Brick Road.
Oh. Yep. He was in that?
And he got
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, and he got all those little people. And that's when
Okay.
they started, like, the union and all that.
I see.
So,
There's not very many of you, right? Like, it's rare.
It is rare.
Yeah.
We're 0.06 of the population.
Okay.
So not even 1%.
How many in the world?
I don't know in the world, but it's 0.06 of
The
the
whole
world
population? So there's got to be a lot then.
Yeah. I mean, what's
What are
funny,
the stats to be, like, 1 in what chance?
1 in 40. Oh, no. It all
40
depends.
feels like a lot.
It is 1 in 40. I think that's
Really?
the number. Yeah, 1 in every 4. I think. Don't quote me. I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna look
There's
that
so many
up.
different stats because then it's like, say me and another person had a child. It's 50-50.
Really?
Yep. And then it's even like, did you ever seen that Little People Big World?
Yeah.
Where
they had-
all their kids were
except for the
normal except for one, and
which
he
I've
was
always
a
kind of
twin.
felt bad for that one.
But he pulled it.
He was, yeah, he did
pulled it
fine,
and
but
he
like it was
did
just like to have all your siblings.
But then he married a
yeah.
normal chick, and
Yeah.
they had all little kids.
Really?
Yeah, all their kids are
No
little.
way.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Oh my
'cause
gosh.
His parents are both little.
Right.
And then he was the only one. And then he married a tall woman.
And they had
all their kids are little.
interesting.
So you never know.
Yeah.
And it's a hiccup in your chromosomes. You know how you have 27 chromosomes?
I do now.
Now you do. So in my chromosomes, that one just had a little beep,
Gotcha.
and it happens.
Because yeah, your parents are both tall.
Yeah.
Were they shocked?
I think they were at first and didn't know what to do. This was, back in the day. And my dad actually met a little person guy at a bus stop. And he goes, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" He goes, "I just had a son. He's a little person, and I just want to make sure, are you cool? Is life good for you?" And
That was what he said? Is
Yeah,
life good
and-
for you?
And the guy goes, "Don't worry, your kid's going to be fine." And my dad even had a party at the house, like the apartment they lived in, and invited the guy over. He's like, "Your son's going to be fine. Don't worry."
I love that.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, the first person that already gave me, like, the push out.
That's
into
like
the
the
world.
universe spoke through him.
Yeah. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's really cute your dad did that.
So, back to Billy Barty.
Okay, yeah.
I was with my uncle working, and I would just blab things, like, around my uncle or whatever. And I don't know why I said it. I just said it out of the blue. He didn't even bring up Billy Barty, but I just met him. And I was walking away from my uncle, and I told my uncle, I said, "I'm going to be way more famous than Billy Barty."
How old were you?
I was 5.
Stop.
And I knew Billy Barty was famous.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be way more famous than Billy Barty.
That's so crazy.
Like, I called it.
Uh-huh.
And he told me later in life, he goes, and I go, I actually remember that. Like,
No
I
way.
remember being
Who remembered
cocky.
it?
My uncle told me later, he goes, "Do you remember telling me, like, you were like 5? And
That's
you told me that?"
amazing.
And I was like, whoa. I go, I do actually, now that you bring it up, I remember it.
So you've always had like a really big personality?
Yeah. Doing I've always been outgoing, like, even with my mom, like, when I was young. My mom would bring me to adult parties, and she'd say, he's cool, because he doesn't, I'll talk to anybody and crack jokes and do whatever. Like, that's just how I am. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the, I have the I don't care attitude. And I think that's why I ended up where I ended up. You can't care if you're going to be on Jackass, you know what I
Right.
mean? You're going to be naked at one
But
point.
that also just kind of happened.
It did, but you can't care. If you're caring, you're not. It's gonna come off wrong.
Did anyone ever care on Jackass?
No, I think everybody
Or just
got
like-
it, and we're just go for it.
Yeah.
So
That's so true. Yeah, because you do have to be naked a
gotta
lot.
be naked.
Did
You're-
everyone have to be naked at some point?
Yeah, everyone's been
And
naked.
no one's ever been like,
Nope.
wow.
Yeah.
You're like, sign my soul to the devil. Here it is.
Not that bad. Just been like, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
You know.
What was one of the craziest stunts you ever did on Jackass?
Oh, there's so many. Like, we're talking 4 movies plus 3 bonus movies plus 3 seasons of the TV show.
What comes to mind? What do you think of?
Every time people ask me that,
Is
I
that
just
annoying?
it kind
Are you
of
annoyed?
it's kind of
You
like
mad at me?
No, not at all. No way. But it's like a like news article interview question.
Sorry.
But no, not at all. Don't be.
Kidding.
There's no stupid questions.
Wow, thank you. I'm gonna get really stupid now that you said that.
Really
Yeah.
stupid. No, you're fine. But I always tell people it actually was pretty crazy because no one else has done this.
Ever in the history of life?
Yeah. So I was bungeed to Preston.
Right, I've seen that
And
one.
jumped
Was that
off
the
the
first or
bridge.
the second?
It was in the second movie.
Okay.
And like nobody's
Where
done
was that? In Florida?
Florida.
You were just on some random bridge?
Yeah, but Jeff Tremaine
Yeah.
drove me to the bridge the day before.
And was like, hey, this is where this is gonna happen.
And he goes, "Will you jump off this bridge?" And I was like, "Of course I'll jump off this bridge because I grew up like in
It was
Torrance.
like 40 yards.
It was 40 feet, 35. It was 40 feet exactly,
Oh, okay.
and they did a 35-foot like bungee.
Okay.
So they had a guy like test it, and he knew I'd come back like under the bridge, and they just wanted to make sure I wouldn't like
Hit the
slam.
bridge.
Yeah, but Jeff brought me there, and he goes, "If I get Preston on this bridge, will you jump?"
Mm-hmm.
And I go, "If you get Preston here, I'll definitely jump because by my house we used to jump off the Hermosa Pier all the time.
Uh-huh.
Like in the summer,
Uh-huh.
there'd be like tourists like we would just have our trunks on and be like, "Oh wait, look what's down there!" And we'd run
How
and jump
high?
over.
And that was like that
that
height?
that height.
How old
So-
were you when you did that?
And we were kids.
So you were like destined for all of this.
yeah. We used to cause havoc all the time.
Yeah.
So, I used to in high school. Just skating
Wait, so the bungee was the...
is one of the craziest ones because
Because visibly it didn't look that crazy.
yeah, but you gotta if you think because there's so I think people get so jaded by Jackass because they're seeing all this stuff so much now, and especially even nowadays, like with all these other shows where people just mess up or fail. I think you get maybe jaded's the wrong word, but you get so used to it. It's almost like
Like numb.
you get numb to it. So I think
Yeah.
since it's in the middle of this movie of stunts and stunts and stunts, people are like, okay, yeah, they jump off.
Yeah,
a
like bungee jump.
but
big
I had to.
deal.
I had Preston one hates heights, so that's like a thing.
That was funny.
He was up there like
Shaking.
playing the piano, shaking.
Yeah.
And I had to jump to
Uh-huh.
get him to go. And
What if he didn't jump? You would have pulled him off.
I pulled him.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
I had to jump to
To
pull him off.
Got it.
And I knew it was the force of my jump that
Would
like
pull him?
would pull him.
Right. And then he went up, right?
No, I went up.
Okay.
He fell, but he
He
didn't
fell
have
in-
no bungee because
Uh-huh.
he yanked me back into the water.
Did that hurt?
No, it was
No?
fine. It was good. But they didn't know if we were gonna collide in
Right.
there. They didn't know if I was gonna hit the bridge.
But
So
were you scared?
no.
Were you ever scared?
Sometimes you just you get nervous, but if I got scared, I wouldn't have done it. And sometimes I just think
You're doing this?
you're doing it. To just do it.
Did
Go.
you think having cameras rolling also like was an added
Yes.
pressure where you're like, okay, and you
Yeah.
had like a whole crew, so it was like if you fucked, it's like there's also a big budget behind it. Like you
Yes.
just were like, go.
Everything's better. The funniest thing is, so flip phones with video cameras
Had just
just came out,
Uh-huh.
and that shot, the initial shot that's like from the water where you see us, the paramedic. It was on a boat, and the paramedics were on the boat.
Oh, because you
and-
always had them ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the one of the paramedic ladies pulled her flip phone out and videoed right behind our camera guy. Got the same exact shot.
Uh-huh.
And Dimitri, who filmed it, goes, "Jeff, you gotta make sure she deletes it." He goes, "Give me your phone
Oh,
and delete
shit.
it." And that's when we realized things were about to change. So it was our second movie now that we realized, like now people are gonna be filming us on the streets and stuff and other things.
Right, because before it was fine.
It was fine because
like
we had-
Preston chasing you.
we had
it was
cam-
like
nobody
funny.
nobody had
Yeah.
video phones yet. So yeah, that moment was a big game changer.
Like her filming that and
Uh-huh.
realizing that, like,
and we were like, oh shit, our footage can be leaked before
Yeah.
we even put a movie out. So it was pretty crazy.
was Swamp Shoot in that?
Yeah, Swamp Shoot was that one.
Okay,
That was
'cause
like
when I
one
think of like craziest, because you were like, everyone thought I died.
yeah, everyone thought I was gonna
Yeah,
die.
like when I asked you that question, I was like, he's gonna say Swamp Shoot because he almost died.
I don't think of it that way, but yeah.
Because that is to be underwater in 40 ropes under
Like wrapped up
under
in
a
rope.
literal
Yeah,
like parachute.
I try not to think about it.
Sorry. Does it stress you out?
When I think about it, it does.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh fuck.
I bet you almost died maybe like 20 times.
Probably. I don't know. Got
Like
hurt a
everyone
bunch.
almost died a bunch.
Yeah, not Preston though. I don't think Preston's ever almost died. He somehow gets away with things.
Like I feel like I picture his sense of just like you chasing you, or like drinking something. Or he was the one that put on the sweatsuit for Sweatsuit Cocktail.
And Steve-O drank it.
Steve-O was always the one to drink things, right?
Yeah, drink
and eat
and
things.
and he yeah.
And
Like
what's-
he would win Fear Factor of the gross eating stuff.
Yeah. What's
So.
the grossest thing you ate?
I don't think it's really that gross. The two grossest things I've ever ate were, or I drank Cobra's blood
On Wild Boys.
on Wild Boys, and I also did cow's milk with cow's blood.
Oh, in Kenya. Were you in
Kenya.
Africa? Yeah.
Kenya,
that was
Africa.
like that's like what they drink to like
It is.
run marathons.
Yep. It's,
Maybe I should do that.
let's get a cow's blood
Yeah,
milk.
there we go. That's my.
We're going.
That's
You're
my
gonna do it.
perfect.
You're gonna do
Hey,
this.
so far so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need that.
You excited about your marathon?
Um,
I can tell you thought about marathon. And you're like, bloop.
no, I am. I just want to get like to 20 miles with training. 'Cause
Okay.
They say you should only run to 20 miles, which I think is kind of like that leaves 6 to like just hope for the best on the race day. But apparently race day you've got like adrenaline, and so hopefully that all kicks in.
I'm not a runner. I have little legs, if you haven't noticed.
I have those barely, but I do see them right now.
Yeah, so I'm not a runner.
Yeah.
I will run if I have to. I'll kick in
Can you run fast?
I'll kick in nitrous.
Yeah,
Like-
like a hippo.
Yeah,
Hippos
but-
can run pretty fast, apparently.
Yeah, so I'm like that. I'll cruise, and then it's like, oh shit, I need to run. I'll run.
Have you ever had to run? Oh, I'm trying to think. There's like that opening scene of Jackass where you're like running away from the bulls.
Mhm.
Were you like running for your life?
Yeah.
Where was that?
We filmed it. There used to be this. They shut down this town in Downey, and they kind of
Downey, where's that?
It's in LA, but it's like
okay.
east. It's almost Orange County, but it's like right on the border, but like kind of middle of LA. And they shut down this. They bought this whole town that was kind of going under, and they kept the homes, and they turned it into a studio place for like all movies and
Oh,
stuff.
cool.
And we did it there.
Did you film a lot of stuff there?
Yeah, we filmed actually just that opener there.
Gotcha.
But I've seen it before in other movies. I'll be like, oh, they filmed that there and stuff.
Is the first one with the grocery cart?
That was filmed on the 6th Street Bridge. That was the old school bridge that they recently just took down,
Oh,
and they rebuilt the bridge.
in LA.
Uh-huh.
That's like one of the more iconic Jackass. Like I feel like even like photos.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the front of the cart. It's
With
a really
the
cool
Captain
pic.
America outfit.
Yeah.
Just...
I like that photo. What's one of your favorite Jackass memories of all time?
Meeting Preston.
Aw, that is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Because he...
I want to like clip this and send it to him. That is so
he wrote
sweet.
the bit, and we were both in our tiny whiteys and white beaters, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Preston," and I go, "Hey, all right, let's go. Let's film this bit."
That's so funny.
Isn't that crazy? But
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. The next one is like Jeff saying, "Hey, we're gonna film a TV show because we've been doing like just skate videos before." And I'm like, TV show. I'm like, this is gonna be on one time. It's gonna
Yeah.
and everybody's gonna be like, didn't you try and do that to you? And then nope, here it is, like over 20 years.
What was the
later.
connection? Because like Bam was in Pennsylvania, right?
So yeah,
And then
Bam,
you guys were out
Dunn.
in LA. Like, how did that get connected?
so Bam and Dunn and those guys were doing CKY, which is Camp Kill Yourself, which was
Jesus.
skating and Jackass style stuff.
Camp Kill Yourself?
Yep. And then we were doing.
Did he just make that up?
Yeah, his brother started the band called CKY, so
Oh,
and then
okay.
he kind of went with it too. And then we were doing Big Brother, which
Mm-hmm.
was the skateboard magazine from which Steve owned, who was Sal's brother,
Got it.
that then led to
Did it come from World?
Industries, yeah.
Got it. So
And
he
World
broke off.
Industries, yep. And
Okay.
then he did a magazine. In the magazine we did videos, And so then we both realized we're doing kind of the same thing. Let's collab.
How did you connect and
With
make that
skateboarding.
connection? Okay.
Skateboarding connected us.
Okay.
Everybody in the skateboard world's connected.
Got
so
it.
we connected that
Even
way.
today, would you say?
A lot of people are, but I think then there's so many brands now and so many different things. It's not as connected. Like back then, it was very connected. Everybody knew everybody. So
In skating.
yeah.
And then, Jackass was born out of that.
Yep.
Do you think a lot of people don't know that about Jackass?
I think maybe I don't think a lot, but maybe it's like I think 75% fans do, and then 25 don't.
Gotcha.
Because there is true hardcore fans that know where.
I feel like the true hardcore fans are skaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no,
they're
there's people that were like homebodies that watch MTV.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So then I don't think then they got like it changed
But
their lives.
I feel like that's such a passion, and I feel like when they have that passion, they connect to it on a deeper level.
Oh, got it.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think that's like majority of fans. I think there's like a handful of that. But I think MTV was so worldwide that I think people really connected to it.
It was the coolest thing ever.
It was like
back in the 2000s.
Yeah, and people would be like, "How do these people feel so comfortable around you?" And I'm like, "You got to think about it. Like when I'm at home, I'm in my t-shirt and underwear and I'm watching shows, you know?
So they feel connected
and
to you.
So you feel connected, and I'm like, these people were in their underwear watching us, so they feel like we're best friends.
And when they were younger.
And it's kind of their childhood thing.
What do you think people see you and automatically assume?
I don't know. I used to get this. People would be like, "Hey, Wee Man's coming," from. Oh no, he's gonna burn the building down.
Yeah,
he's crazy. This place is gonna get thrashed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you assuming that? You don't even know me, and
they associate you with everyone else.
Yeah, but I've never heard of any one of us showing up to a place and
just
burning
destroying
it down.
it.
The only time we destroyed a place was when we got invited to Pure nightclub.
Oh, right.
And they're like, "You sure you want the Jackass?" This was right when number 2 came out, so we were the guys. Yeah, we want you guys.
Where is Pure?
It was in Vegas.
Okay.
It was an all white, silky nightclub with the sheets, and we're like, really? Us going to that nightclub? They're like, yeah. And they put us in this back area. And there was a lower area, and there was glass, and it was a fish tank. And Jeff goes, "Pee on the glass, make it." And people were looking up. It literally looked like I was peeing on these girls' faces, but it was hitting the glass.
And then you all got kicked out.
So then, but they wanted that. Knox was get us thrown out of here.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're gonna be able to leave.
And they used you.
So I was the Billy Goat.
You didn't get in charge any issues with public urination?
Nope, not then. No, but
have you ever been charged with anything?
No, not charged with anything. No.
Why did you pause?
Because I never have. Why would I get put?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I got a drinking as an underage person.
Oh, you did?
I'm not squeaky clean.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Whoa.
I know. Zach Brown Band concert really got me. It's actually a funny story. I was eating Cheez-Its just sitting in the grass. And they came up to me and they're like, "Ma'am, we're going to need to see your ID." And I just started crying, and I've got Cheez-It dust on my corners of my mouth, black mascara streaming out of my Ray-Ban glasses. And then I just go, "I'm a good person. I went to private school," in front of all my friends. And they were like, "You're an idiot." And then I got in trouble.
That's like me saying, "Hey, I'm Wee Man."
I know. But no, it was really sad. I thought that was going to get me out of it.
Private school.
What a loser. I know. I went to private school. It was Snooki when she got arrested.
I'm a good person. I'm better than everybody else.
No, it was a legit Snooki when she got arrested, and she was like, "I'm a good person." Yeah, it was bad.
That's funny. I met Snooki one time. I'm like, "You're
Was she your height?
She's exactly my height.
Stop.
I'm like, take off those 6-foot wedges to try and act like
she's your height?
She is exactly my height.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Is she a midget?
No, she's not. She's just even there's Mexican girls or whatever that are shorter. My grandma's 4'10".
Yeah.
And she's not, you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Yeah. And she's like, "I'm not your height." And she was so pissed.
Where did you meet her?
It was at a premiere of something, and everybody was on the red carpet. And I'm like, "Snooki!" And even Preston and Dave and everything, dude, she's like the same height as you.
That's so funny. You don't know what movie it was?
It was, dude, we used to go to, yeah, I don't remember. And she just cruised in or cruised down.
Mm-hmm.
She was pissed. She's like, she avoided me like the plague after that.
Really?
Because she didn't want to be associated.
Yeah.
I bet you she's been called a midget. Like, what's
Oh,
up,
sure.
midget? And she's like, what's up?
So she just was like, you were like a mirror on her reality. That's so funny. Who's been the coolest celebrity you've ever met that you're like, wow, that was really cool? Have you ever been like starstruck?
Oh, yeah, I get starstruck. But I've been starstruck on by celebrities.
Right. Who's geeked out the hardest meeting you?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It is. It's the craziest. And now.
Shut up.
No, I'm being serious.
That's so funny.
I'm being so serious.
What did he do?
I'll tell you. So Alan and I, my manager,
Yeah.
I'm meeting him up in Hollywood. This was like way young days.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, this is where celebrities eat. This is where Jack Nicholson eats.
Yeah.
Capriano or whatever, what's his name? That's super famous dude. I don't know. Anyways, he's like telling me, I'm like, yeah, whatever, Alan. Like, I'm like, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is where they eat. It was a restaurant at the.
Well, and your manager's much older, so
yeah,
let's give the people the context there that he's like an older man.
He's an older man, and he's like, this is where they. Okay, guy. And we're eating. It's an Italian restaurant
in Hollywood.
In Hollywood,
uh-huh.
The waiter seems so like too good for everybody.
Yeah. I'm sure she was also an aspiring actress.
Guy.
Okay,
waiter.
he was
I would have said waitress if it was a girl.
I don't need gender words.
So, I do.
I don't.
Sets people apart. Lets you know I'm talking about.
I think everyone can be anything.
So this person was serving us food and thought they were cooler than the world. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the place. I'm eating spaghetti. I just ordered like spaghetti, and I have a thing full of mouth. And I get a tap on the shoulder, and I look back, and it's Samuel L. Jackson.
And you got like spaghetti hanging out of your mouth?
And I go, and he's like, hey, I don't want to bug you. I just want to tell you I'm a big fan.
Stop.
And I'm like, Samuel L. Jackson, I'm a big fan, too. Oh, my God. Like, ah. It's like, all right, I'm going to let you go. Have a good one.
Wow.
And then I saw him a few months later at the Hateful Eight premiere, and we were kind of sitting in the same row. And he sees me and he's like, hey, come here. Like, give me a hug.
Stop.
Like, that big.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, I love you, buddy. I love you.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
It's actually so cool that you can also see people and just know them, too. Like, again, you don't know him well, obviously, but you've seen him in movies and, like, you know who he is and vice versa. Like, what a weird ability to connect with someone immediately upon just...
You do the work and I do the work. We're like, we do this work, but
you're
cool and I'm cool. Like, yeah.
It's cool.
It's crazy.
That's so interesting.
And then the other, and it's another Pulp Fiction actor. I've told this story many times, but Bruce Willis, same thing. Like,
he's a big fan?
Yeah, but I was down in Cabo. It was right after him and Demi got divorced.
Yeah.
And he was dating like some supermodel. And I was doing a movie about supermodels, and she was in it.
What was the movie?
Death to a Supermodel. Never came out.
I was going to say, I was asking about movies yesterday, and you were like, yeah.
This is one of them. Horrible movie.
Did Alan give you that?
One day shoot.
Damn it, Alan.
Yeah, one day shoot. But I spent 5 days in Costa Rica.
Fun.
And the first day, like, I went down and I wanted to see the shots on the beach. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking out at 9 a.m, and it's Bruce Willis. And I pass him, I'm like, oh, crap, because he's talking to somebody, but I go, like, sit, like, 10 feet away. Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting there, and, like, 20 minutes after, he's like, hey, wee man, are you working? And I'm like, nope. And he's like, well, let's start drinking.
Stop.
And I'm like, let's go.
Stop.
9:30 in the morning.
So you start getting drunk with Bruce Willis?
Captain Morgan's and Cokes.
Stop.
Right?
This is so funny.
2 in the afternoon, and we're telling stories. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Like, and telling stories. It's 2 in the afternoon. We'd been drinking since 9:30. He goes, let's go skinny dipping.
Shut up.
In the ocean.
Stop.
And I'm like, fucking let's go.
So you can say you've been skinny dipping with
Bruce
Willis?
We got buck naked and ran down the beach. Everybody's like, what the? And it's just me and Bruce.
Shut up.
Running down the beach, buck naked, and jumping into the ocean.
That is such a legendary story.
I'm like, I'm living.
How old were you?
This was years ago.
Yeah, 30s?
Yeah, late 20s.
Okay,
Late
wow.
20s, early 30s.
Was that before the second Jackass or
Maybe
after?
right around.
Damn, that is so funny.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
He was like, all right, man. We just hung out, and then he left that day because he only stayed for a day.
You think he tells the story?
I don't know. I wish I could ask him that, but he has dementia or whatever now.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. I wonder if I always wondered if he did.
Yeah.
Like, if he got interviewed, what's the group? Me and Wayman went skinny dipping in Costa Rica. Shit was awesome.
I feel like people inserting your name into any story makes it a good story. You know what I mean?
That's what I wonder. I wonder if he's like starting.
Well, I bet there's just a lot of people in the world that like have a photo with you, or like, you know, that they say things like that are like, it was just a regular Tuesday for you, but they were like, and then Wee Man was there, you know, like,
yeah.
It's so interesting.
I have a friend, she's like still with her dude, like, and 12 years ago I met them at the airport, both of them, and she didn't want, she's like, oh my God, she was so nervous. I'm like, no, just get a photo. We got a photo together, and now I know her like 12 years later, and her dude. And he goes, she still talks about that. I've never heard her talk about any. And he goes, she smiles when she thinks about just the photo of you two guys. And she goes, she remembers how nice you were. And you said, no, get the photo.
You didn't say make it quick?
No, I didn't tell her make it quick. I said, just get the photo.
That's what Jason says to people when they want a photo. He goes, make it quick.
It's just.
I was like, you're sounding kind of mean.
but I don't want to. I'm not gonna sit there and chit chat. Like I'm like, okay, now we're BFFs. Woohoo!
You think that's because people often in the past will start trying to talk to you?
Oh my! I would have people like, hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah, like what would they ask you?
And then it's 20 minutes later.
Would they ask you like life advice?
Life advice.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, I've had people. I went to like.
Like what? They'd be like, how do you do it, man?
I went to a place.
What's the answer to this life thing?
Exactly. No, I've had it multiple
They
times.
think you're like a genie?
And this one comes to mind all the time. And it's so funny. And I'm going to give like a reference because I gave the reference then. And I was like, wow, I gave a really good reference. This guy, I'm at like a dealership getting my car done, like, you know, inspected, whatever. Guy's like, hey, man, got a big question. Like, how do you do it? Like, I want a lot of things. Like, I'm trying to get to your level, want a lot of things. And I'm like,
You're like, bitch, this is level 12. Sorry.
I'm like, let me give you a little advice. And it's an old Rolling Stones song. And he goes, he got weird. And I'm like, listen to the words. I'm like, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you'll get what you need. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, don't focus on the things you want. Just make sure you have the things you need.
That's beautiful.
I go, at one point, I was so happy just living in my van and doing whatever I wanted. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I have everything I need. I can wake up and do what I want. He goes, what? And he got all weird. I'm like, you're thinking about life all wrong. Like, think about it the right way, and then everything else will come.
That's beautiful.
And I was like, wow, I just quoted a song and everything.
Just came to you, the universe spoke through you.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, because you sold your house and then lived in a van for a year. Mm-hmm. And you loved that.
I loved it.
Do you miss those days?
No, kind of, but not. I'm like, it was a little chapter in my life. And
what
it was
sparked that?
I knew I was in this position, and it was the one time I had a mortgage and mortgages, and it was a big house. It was me by myself, 4-bedroom house,
Why'd you buy that?
Because I thought, like, you know, you're supposed to buy a house, gotten some money, and then it was right when I got into chronic, so then I spent money on that, and I kind of overdid myself. That was the one life lesson where I overdid myself at one time.
Financially, you felt like, oh shit.
A little bit afterwards, but then I didn't. I'm like, yeah, I gotta. This thing's gonna just. I thought this thing's gonna just wheel me money. Yeah. This will pay this. This will do, and it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, and it didn't.
Right.
So it was a life lesson. So I was like, oh crap! I really like dove in deep.
Yeah.
So I stayed in the house 10 years. I'm like, I'm selling it.
10 years is a long time.
So I sold my house. And then I lived in a hotel for 2 months.
What hotel?
Was
it nice?
Hampton Inns. I lived in the Hampton. Well, I liked the location of it. Okay. Because it was close to everything, and I can jam away, and it had.
Did you just sell early because you got a good deal or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got a great deal. I sold, and then I was living in the hotel, and I was kind of lost.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but then I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't want to buy another house here. I don't know where I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And I started watching YouTube videos on vans, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to just buy a van, live in it, and just go. I'm like, I just had this like fuck it attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm gonna do it. And so I went and looked at a couple,
Mm-hmm.
and then I called my buddy. I'm like, he'll know about him. He's a car guy. I'm gonna call him. I'm like, what do you know about these Sprinter vans? He goes, dude, I'm driving mine right now. I've had it for 6 months. We hadn't talked in like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And I called him. He's like, you want one? Just come down tomorrow. I'm gonna take you to a place.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I met these guys and I talked to them. They're like, you won't have one for another, if you want to. But they're like, maybe look on our website and see if you want to use one.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one I really liked. I called the guy. It was a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, you got any offers on it? He goes, no. I go, I'm going to fly in Monday and I'm buying your van in
Where was it?
Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
So I flew into Arkansas, bought the van, and I called Preston. I'm like, hey, I'm in this town, Arkansas, and I noticed Joplin, Missouri is only an hour away. It's the first night I got this van. Can I come stay at your house? I'll just park it in your driveway and I'll sleep in my van. Hell yeah!
Fun.
So first night I was with Preston.
I love that.
And we went out and we partied that night and we had a good time. And then I got on the road.
And then where'd you go?
I went so many places and it was so weird where I ended up each time. Like, I went and stayed with my buddy Matt Hoffman for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
We went skydiving. We went to skate parks.
So you had like a rumspringer. Like you just like
Yeah,
went and lived.
but then we left. Here's the craziest story about this. So it was Preston's house, then my buddy Matt Hoffman's house, and then I left, and he's like, call Danny Boy.
Who's Danny Boy?
He's from House of Pain. He goes, he lives on the other side of Oklahoma. He just bought the Outsider's house and redid it and all that. Go visit him. Go see that. He's like, I'll give you his number. And I call him up. He's like, yeah, cruise down. When you coming down? I'm like, I'll be there Saturday.
So you just like kept going.
But listen to this. He didn't even say nothing to me. That Saturday I showed up. S.C. Henton and Thomas Campbell, the guy who played Ponyboy and the lady who wrote the book, were putting their hands in the concrete at the house. The mayor was there. All
Stop.
that. And I pull up. They're like, hey, Weirman's here. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
That's so crazy.
And it just so happened, it just
kept
ended
happening.
up. Yeah, and I was
Wow.
like, this is, like, it was meant to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was meant for me to get the van there,
Yeah.
do all the
Do all
days I
these-
did, and and it just kept going.
What's one of your favorite van memories?
That was one of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, because it was out of the blue.
Mm.
I met Danny Boy. I met S.E. Hen, the lady who wrote the book. I met, Pony Boy too, and I'm like, I was mind blown. I'm like, this is weird, but it's like stuff like that always just
Happens
out
to you?
of the blue. It just happens
Yeah.
to me.
I feel like you breed that environment.
Just rad stuff all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you've lived a really cool life.
I'm
And
still
you
living
I
it.
know.
I'm not
I
I'm
meant
not
that,
done.
And you continued to.
I'm not done.
I know that.
I'll
I didn't,
tell you
I didn't
that.
say it like you're done.
You lived a really cool life. Sorry,
yeah, glad
that's
I got
it.
you on the pod before you kicked the can, you old fart. You have lived a cool life.
And I'm still doing
And
it.
you're still doing it. You're a legend.
Trying.
Yeah. Well, did you say that at the beginning of this?
No,
No.
I didn't. We did
Well,
that.
when I walk around with Jason and we're in the city and people will yell, "You're a legend," and then I was like, "What does legend mean to you?" What was your definition you gave?
It means somebody who's lived the life they wanted to live that other people want to live, and you did it already, and but I continue to do it, and so it's.
What's next?
I don't know.
What would you like to share at the end of this? We got to wrap it up.
At the end of this, I want to share that I'm really glad to be on your stupid podcast.
Thank you
I
for
don't
doing
think-
my stupid podcast.
I don't think it's stupid.
Thanks. What do you think it
And-
is?
I think it's amazing.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah, you're a great person. You have a really good soul,
Thank you.
and I noticed it from day one, and I think that you're gonna succeed yourself.
We'll be
And
a legend.
You're gonna be a legend too. You'll be a legend. You already are.
Thank you. I like having that on record. I'm a good person.
You are.
What would you give? Well, again, you already gave that one guy life advice at the car shop. Would that be your life advice for everyone else?
Yeah. Don't.
Rolling Stones song?
Yeah. Don't always. It's not going to be what you want, but you'll definitely get what you need.
What's one of your favorite quotes?
Quotes? Till the wheels fall off. And
Beautiful.
that's how you gotta live. Just
Gorgeous.
keep living
Till the
and
wheels
doing it.
fall off.
Till the wheels fall off.
I think that's how we end this. Till the wheels fall off.
Yep.
All right. That was fun.
Till the cork on the wine's popped.
Okay.